As wheeler dealers, where me and Ed, we're on a mission to keep iconic cars rumbling along Britain's roads.
We'll search from Penzance to Paris to find those cars and then give them the TLC they need. Do it right, and there's a decent profit in there too for when we sell them on.
Don't know about you, but this time I fancy buying something with a bit of class.
There's only one name that says style and luxury, Rolls Royce, but we only have £5,000 to buy and restore a car. How can we make the numbers add up?
Well, we can. It's going to be a bit of a challenge, but it's worth doing, especially if it means we're behind the wheel of a roller. For over 100 years, it's meant something to own a Rolls Royce. To millions, the Silver Shadow is the best car in the world. The British icon of peerless engineering, quality and luxury. It was famously said that the loudest noise you could hear from behind the wheel was the ticking of the clock. New prices were astronomical, but used you can now pick up a hand-built super luxury roller for the price of a family hatchback. For our £5,000 budget, we can afford an early 70s car that will probably need some work. They're thin on the ground, but I've got an idea. You're probably thinking I've gone mad and I'm going to break the bank, but no, I haven't. You can get a cheap roller these days. That's if you're quite clever. And the way to go about it is to go to what they call a car dismantlers, because a Rolls Royce is worth more in parts as an old car than it is as a whole. There are a few dismantlers out there offering tired old rollers for a quick sale. If they don't go quickly, they're broken up for parts, but demand is high. Many are snapped up by wedding car companies. Oh, this looks nice. Rolls Royce Corniche. That's the convertible one. That'd be good in the sun. No longer for dismantling. Now sold as a restoration project. See, other people are doing it. But the car that I really need is something like that. Look at that. Perfect. A Shadow one, initially purchased for break-in, but salvageable. For sale as a restoration project. Act now to save from our dismantlers. See, these guys, they know there's people like me out there, and they want 3,250 quid for that, and it's a roller. Normally you can ask, is the car a runner? Is there an MOT? But with bottom-of-the-barrel cars, you've just got to establish whether it's viable to restore. From the sound of it, this one has potential. That's good enough for me to hit the road. Now, the guy who's selling this, his name's Ben, he's a dealer. He said that it was trailing into him. It's got a few faults mechanically. He said it's a little bit rough on the body, but it could be pulled round. Fingers crossed, this one's going to be my roller. I can see the car that I'm after. It's this one over the back here. He sent me pictures on the internet, so I recognise it straight away. God, look at that, it looks good, doesn't it? What a cracking looking old girl. Oh, let's get out this weather. Ooh, look at it in here. It's beautiful. You wouldn't believe this car is over 35 years old. It's nearly as old as me. And the wood is in pristine condition. It's got the original Bakelite steering wheel. Just a little bit of a clean up and it'd be ready to go. Oh, what's up with that door? That sounds terrible. That's because the bottom of the door is shot, and as I can see now, the whole seals are finished and perished through. And looking down the side of the car, you have to have a second look with these things. Oh, look, it's full of pug all the way down. That's quite nasty filler. Look, it's just falling out behind. Terrible state. Ben was honest enough to tell me as well that this car was trailered in. It looked fantastic on the pictures, but now close up, no. Right, let's go and see Ben, give him the bad news. Oh, look at this. Ben, you about?
Hello.
How you doing, mate? Mike?
Ben, how are you?
I'm good, yeah, not bad at all. I had a little sneaky look at the roller on the way in, and I don't want to waste your time. It's just not one for me. It's too sore on the bodywork, and really, I'm looking for something that's mechanically sound. I don't mind a bit of bodywork to do on it, but mechanically sound, and that one's shot.
I'm not surprised. Has it got to be a Rolls?
It hasn't. No, I wouldn't mind something else, but I don't think I can afford anything else, can I?
Well, I've taken in a Bentley. It's a shocker on the body, but mechanically it's very sound.
Is it? Can I have a look?
It's here. Have a
Oh,
look.
fantastic. No way. No way. Oh, Ben, you're having a laugh. I'm not gonna go anywhere near this. Look at this state of the bodywork. I've never seen anything get in this condition before. What's happened to it?
No idea. Washed with a wire brush, probably.
Probably. Look, it's a mess. I mean, can you pull that round? It's going to cost a fortune.
Yeah, we'll take a look around it. It's a straight old thing.
It is quite an honest old car, isn't it? It's all any accident damage?
No.
What's the interior like? I bet that's shot as well.
Let's have a look.
Oh, she looks just as tired inside here, doesn't she?
Well, tired maybe, but she's complete. She's not damaged, no cigarette burns.
No rips anywhere?
No rips.
Does it all work? Does everything work? Seats work, windows work?
As far as I'm aware, it's all working.
OK, you're warming me up to it. Aye, aye. What's going on here? Is it busted already?
No, we always check everything, see what works and what doesn't work before we strip the poor old girl down.
So you would break this car up and sell it for parts?
Yeah, every nut and bolt.
Don't do that just yet. What have we got here?
That's some of the paperwork that's come with it. The previous owners spent about £7,000 on it.
No way.
Gearbox has been done, suspension's been done, brakes have been done.
No way, look at this. It's had replaced both accumulator spheres, renew rear suspension gas springs. So it's had a bundle of money spent on it.
Yeah.
£7,000 worth.
Yeah.
Taxed?
Taxed?
MOT'd?
Yes.
It doesn't get much better, other than probably, now you've said it's had £7,000 spent on it, it's going to be the price. Am I going to be able to afford this?
If you want to tickle me a small profit, $32.50, take it away.
$32.50?
Yeah.
Can I drive it?
Yeah.
Fantastic, I'm excited. Whoa! Look at this! I'm in a Bentley! And what could have turned out to be a really bad day might turn out to be a very, very good day, because I never thought I'd be behind the wheel of a Bentley Mulsanne Turbo. It's a good chance when you're on a test drive to get everything up to temperature, make sure it all works. You only get the one go at it. Brakes are good, steering's good, it sounds fantastic. When he said this car's had £7,000 spent on it, he wasn't lying, because it just drives beautifully. When you bought one of these cars new, Bentley and Rolls Royce never told you the power output. They would just say the car is adequate. Well, let me tell you, if I was to plant my right foot in the shag pile carpet, it feels pretty adequate to me. 6.75 litres up front, sucking through a great big turbo means quick. And this car really does get down the road fast. I came here for a Rolls, not a Bentley. I never even considered I'd be able to afford one. But look at the package. More power, more refinement, a newer shape for the same money. I'm ditching the plan to get a Rolls. This boy wants a Bentley, and I want it bad. I have made my mind up. I'm going to have it. I am definitely going to buy this car. We're going to own a Bentley. Wait until Ed sees it. He's going to love me, and he's going to hate me, because this car needs a heap of work on the exterior. To pull the bodywork round is going to be tough, but the good news is he hasn't got to get his fingers greasy, because all that work has been done. Now, Ben, I think he's being a bit mad. He's asked me 3,250 quid. That sounds cheap to me, but you know what I'm like. I've got to go for a little bit more off. So I'm going to bid him £3,000, see if he'll take it. If he doesn't, at 32 and a quarter, it's mine.
How was it?
Well, you weren't lying, was you? Mechanically, this car is fantastic. It really gets down the road well. I'm really pleased about that. I'm just bothered by the amount of paintwork to do on it. Now, you say you want your 3250.
Yeah.
It's going to cost a couple of grand to paint this, isn't it?
I'd have thought so, yeah.
A little bit of money on the interior. So say it owes me about £5,500. What can I sell it for today?
You should get 7, 8, maybe.
So there's a profit in it.
Should be, yeah.
But you know what I'm like? I'm a wheeler dealer, so I'm going to make you an offer, 3 grand.
I was waiting for that. It's got to be worth 6, 7, broken over a period of time to me. So 32.50 it is. I don't need to take it off.
I'm not going to argue. I'm having it. Down to me. The more I think about it, the more I'm happy my plan for a Rolls didn't work out. With a Bentley, you've got a driver's car. You're not in the back with a big cigar. You're up front with a big fat grin on your face. On the road to the workshop, the car's got real presence. I could be a rock star, a retired record producer. No, folks, I'm just a plain old wheeler dealer. But when we finish, this car's going to be getting a few more admiring glances. Well, I've been in the car quite a while now trying to get it home, and I've taken in a mixture of A roads, B roads, motorways, and to be honest with you, every single part of the journey is just handled it with ease. I do get one little warning light keep coming up on the dashboard, and that's petrol. And if you're going to buy a car like this, get used to it, because you will be stopping to put petrol in it quite a bit. But other than that, I think we've got the bargain of a century. We are definitely going to earn money out of this baby. And we own a Bentley. I'm going to say it again. We own a Bentley Mulsanne Turbo on Wheeler Dealers. Well, I've got a 100-mile drive back to Ed's workshop, and to break up the journey, I thought I'd have a refuel, Bentley style. Now, usually once I bought a car, you'll find me on the side of the road at one of those chuck wagons getting myself a greasy bap. But because I bought myself the fine Bentley, I thought I'd treat myself to a picnic in the countryside. Looks like Jeeves forgot to cut the crust off my sandwich. Oh, what? Edward! Look what I got for us!
That is fantastic.
I bought us a Bentley.
Wheeler Dealers has finally arrived. How on earth can we afford this?
To the manor born, dear boy, to the manor born. It was only 3,250 quid.
Well, that is a bargain.
It's so cheap, isn't it?
But anybody can see that the paint is completely shot.
Ed, that's why it was 3,250 quid. It needs a bit of paint work. Don't worry about it. There's nothing to worry about.
It's a huge thing to worry about. It's like repainting the Forth Road Bridge. It's going to take hours of preparation.
Come and have a look inside.
This is luxury.
Country squires, haven't we? It's fantastic, isn't it, Ed? And look how good it is in here. Look, the headlining.
Yeah.
It's all leather, all nice. Got lambswool rugs, got lovely leather seats, no rips, no tears.
Mind you, they could do a bit of rejuvenation.
Well, they just need a bit of saddle soap on them, maybe a bit of colonising, bring them back to life. You haven't got a lot to do in here, just cleaning and tidying.
But I've got an awful lot of rubbing down to do on the outside.
You have got a little bit of rubbing to do, but you know you're an engineer and you like fiddling with the oily bits. Wait until you see the engine on this.
Cool.
It's cracking.
Now that is impressive. That's fantastic. Is that about a 6-litre engine?
No, Edward, that is 6.7 litres of cruise finest engineering.
With a turbo?
With a turbo, listen to it.
Oh, wow.
It's beautiful.
And it's so smooth.
Silky smooth. It's had thousands of pounds spent on it. They've done some work on the engine, good service. It's had a gearbox overhaul, it's had brakes overhauled, and it's just been looked after generally.
So no work for me to do, and it's a really honest engine. It hasn't been jet washed or kind of sort of shined up or anything. It's actually as it should be.
It's a genuine car. You'll be able to have a manicure, Ed. You won't be getting your hands dirty on the greasy bits on this car. It's just the bodywork, as I say.
Just the bodywork. But I have to say, there's something else I've got a problem with this car. It's a little bit like yourself. It's kind of a bit old man, a bit 80s.
Thanks for that.
You're welcome.
Don't worry about that, because although the car is trapped in the 80s, it's really easy to turn this into a much more youthful car. Cheap as well.
Right.
All you got to do is replace the headlamps with the round ones.
Yep.
A couple of other little tricky bits around it. This car will be worth a load of money.
So you're going to get all those bits, I guess?
I'll do the bits, I'll get them. All you got to do is prepare the bodywork.
OK, well, thanks.
Right, I'm off to get the parts. You get started.
Cheers, mate.
Welcome back to Wheeler Dealers. Our challenge is to buy and restore a classic car for £5 and then sell it on for a profit. I bought this bad boy Bentley for £3,250, but it needs a respray, which is a massive job on a car like this. But is it too massive for our Ed to manage?
This is a wonderful luxury car, but Mike has done me no favours at all by buying one with such bad paintwork. To respray one of these is an epic, epic job. It's going to take me ages, but there really is no point getting worried about that. I just need to crack on. If you've never resprayed a car before, here's a tip. Don't try a Bentley first. There are 6 times as many components as on an ordinary car, and therefore there are 6 times as many parts to come off before you can prep the body. I have serious doubts we can turn this around in the time we've got. The lights are mercifully easy to remove. Mike's promised me some new units, but I won't be junking these. They're still worth about £100 second hand. I'm going to take off this front bumper, and it's held on with these bolts that go into captive nuts inside the bumper itself. Now, I've been told that they can sometimes spin out and you end up with the bumper stuck on the car and you have to damage it to get it off. I've been reliably informed that if I take the bumper iron off the chassis, then hopefully everything will be okay. Now, if I follow that iron through, it ends up just on this side here. There are 2 bolts holding it on. One of them, annoyingly, is kind of stuck behind the horn mounts, but basically, even though it's a bit of a faff, it is definitely better in the long run. This is fiddly, but probably the fastest way of doing the job. When I can finally get to the bolts attaching the bumper irons, the whole assembly will come off in one go. I'm glad all cars aren't built like this. You know, this car is just the same all the way through. Nothing is simple. Just trying to take the bumper off, and there's another wire, yet another wire attaching something to this, and it looks like it might be the outside temperature gauge or whatever. But again, it's got to be removed before I can actually remove the thing I was trying to remove. This is madness. At last! I'm expecting an easier ride getting off the rear bumper, but it seems to have a complicated spring mechanism. It's quite mad that the lengths that Bentley went to build their cars. I mean, like, take this for example. I'm just trying to unbolt the rear of this bumper, and they've actually gone to the trouble of designing a mechanism with all these springs and stuff to actually make it easy to undo the bumper and keep it sort of unrattly when it's driving along. I mean, everybody else has just put a plastic bolt in, but these guys, they've just gone mad with it. That's nice and light. Don't lose or break any parts as you remove them. Replacements for this hand-built car are easy to come by, but super expensive. A bumper or piece of trim, motor or panel could set you back hundreds. If you want to get a decent respray, you should take the bright work off and the glass out. So next, I turn my attention to the huge back window. I'm going to remove this bit of chrome trim. It's reasonably delicate and quite expensive. In fact, the rubber itself that's underneath is about £150. And it looks a bit perished. We may have to replace that anyway, but I'm going to try not to damage it at this stage. And also, I'm not actually going to remove the glass itself either, because I'm going to start DAing the whole of the bodywork. There'll be loads of dust everywhere, and I want to protect that interior. Removing the trim is essential if you want this to look good, and this paint job has to be flawless. A specialist glass company will, for around £75, take the windscreen out for you. It seems, for some reason, that this is stuck in position. I think maybe what's happened, somebody's put some extra bonding paste in here or something, but got to be so careful not to bend this or break it, or worse, do the windscreen. What I might do is cut the rubber, because this rubber seems to be damaged anyway. And I'm going to have to do that probably to get the windscreen out again just as easy. There's actually some damage inside as well, so I think the thing to do is to cut it. It's a pity to have to do this, but the seal does look a little perished anyway. A replacement rubber is around £120. There seems to be some kind of metal pin in here, but I just can't get it off. It's just mad. The other side came off very easily. At last. Don't know how we're going to repair that, but at least this bit of trim's off and I can deal with that later. Let's just say it's quite lucky I love a good challenge. The car is stripped, and now I have the joy of sanding all the paint off. Ultimately, the sanded surface dictates the quality of the final paint finish. This is a first pass with a coarse pad. Considering the size of this car, I'm not kidding myself, this is going to be a quick job. This is a mammoth task. It has taken me hours and hours, and it would seem that I've barely scratched the surface. This is going to be a long one. Mike was mad to make me tackle this job. Getting to this point has taken more than 60 hours. You can see why getting this done by a specialist would cost more than £2,000. And while we've saved a fortune, are we going to make it back?
Ed? Wow! You really have been working hard, haven't you?
This has been a nightmare, mate.
Is it?
It's a huge car, and they've kind of, I wouldn't say much over-engineered it, but they've just belt and braces on everything. So to take anything off is taking hours.
British craftsmanship, that's what it is. And Ed, look, we're running a garage here. You've turned it into a scrapyard. What's going on, mate?
Well, for the respray, it's got to be, you know, devoid of everything.
You just said the word respray. We're not actually respraying this.
No, we have to. The paint was terrible.
We're going to change the colour.
No, we're not. That's crazy. That's just so much extra work.
Look, this car, right, at the moment, is a 1980s Bentley Mulsanne Turbo. And I've got this great idea to lift it up to date, make this car really modern. And for that, you need a new colour, a colour of the millennium, something like silver, gunmetal grey. Trust me.
Now, I know it would look really cool in gunmetal grey, but the extra work I've got to do is crazy, because basically I've got to do all the door shuts and everything. I mean, it's madness.
Do you know what? I don't really care. We're definitely changing the colour. And trust me, Ed, we give just over £3 for this car. Once I do the colour, whoo!
I'll tell you what, I will do the extra work if you can guarantee me that we're going to make an absolute killing on this car.
Trust me, it's going to earn a fortune.
It needs to.
Go on then, carry on. Poor Ed, but repainting the car blue would have been far too easy. Yes, making this car look 25 years younger means all the paint, inside and out, will need preparation. But we've come this far, and we can't turn back now. There's just 1,750 quid left in the kitty, and I've a feeling we're gonna need it. Ed thinks we may have bitten off more than we can chew with the old Bentley. I know it's a hand-built car and it's gonna take a lot of handiwork to pull it right, and I'm in the doghouse, but I do believe there's a whole heap of money left in this car.